Okay, so welcome to our first video from section 5.2. We're going to start off with the concept of a least common multiple. Now, hopefully this is a phrase that you remember from previous math classes, but just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page, a least common multiple is the smallest number that two or more numbers can multiply to get to. So it's it's the smallest multiple that those numbers, or it could be two numbers, three numbers, four numbers, just a group of numbers share. So the way that we're going to find our least common multiple is we're going to go back and revisit. Remember that idea of prime factorization from our study of the greatest common factor. So we're going to go back and revisit prime factorization. So this is the tool that we're going to be using to find the least common multiple when it doesn't seem very easy for us to kind of guess at. Okay, so the way that we use this is to find, and I'm going to use LCM instead of writing out least common multiple for a group of numbers. Most of the time we're just talking about two numbers, but sometimes we can get larger. So to find the least common multiple for a group of numbers or expressions, because remember we are in an algebra class, so we don't just deal with numbers, we also deal with algebraic expressions, so we do have to kind of extend this idea out into our algebra sphere. So to find the LCM for a group of numbers or expressions, we are going to first, we're going to create the prime factorization for each number or expression. Two, we're going to list the individual factors present in each prime factorization, but we don't want any repeats. And then what we'll want to do is we will want to record the greatest. So this is that idea that's a little bit different. So we're going to record the greatest number of times each factor occurred in any of the prime factorizations. And then the last step is we're going to multiply so that's where you think about that word multiply. We're going to multiply each factor, the greatest number of times it occurs in either prime factorizations. So we're going to use that steps 2 and 3 to help us with that step 4. So this is going to be definitely a little bit different than what we did for our greatest common factor. So for the greatest common factor, remember, in order to create that greatest common factor, we still created the prime factorizations, but we were looking for, in order for it to become part of our greatest common factor, it truly had to be a factor that was present in each prime factorization. And you used it the least amount of times that it occurred. But with the least common multiple, we're going the other direction with it. So we still create that prime factorization, but this time, any factor that's present in the prime factorization is going to be part of our least common multiple, and we will record the greatest number of times that that factor occurs, and then we multiply all those together. So we're going to stop here, and in the next video we'll get an actual example.